Batman Book Club podcast. So, just back from pub crawling with the Batgirls, I'm your host, Bad Obsessive Chris. And doing body shots off of Nightwing's best asset, my co-host TJ.
I'm just slurping them up over here. Hi everyone, I am your Chris proclaimed Batman acolyte, and we are so excited to be here at FlameCon with you all.
Yes, we are. But we are not alone because Batman never works alone, that liar. But we have to bring them in with a chant. I've always wanted to get a crowd chanting. People know I love a cult if you watch my show, so we're going to do it today. All right, we're going to do JLQ. Are you ready? JLQ. 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 Yes! We have Jadzia Axelrod, amazing DC writer of Galaxy, the Prettiest Star. We have the love of my life, Kahn, amazing comic writer of Heavenly Blues, Shaman, and Renegade Roll. Woo-hoo! And we have Jaffe, DC Comics columnist for DC.com and Trivia Master! This is a podcast, if somehow you didn't know that. This is also an explicit podcast. If you're going to be offended, hold it inside. We don't care.
I just want to say before we begin that I'm the only one up here who has officially written a Bat comic book. Now,
I have unofficially written many.
you have. Now, that shouldn't make my opinion better or more valid than anyone else up here, but it is something I want you to keep in your mind at all times.
I will have you know that I am credited as the co-colorist on We Are Robin #4, despite being colorblind. Yes.
Yeah, they don't let me touch important characters.
So, we have a game for you. Would you all like to play a game? Alright, you're going to help me out. TJ has accused me of rigging the games against him a time or two. So I'm not going to be the judge tonight. You are all going to be the judge. So you can help me rig it against TJ.
I never know what the game is, so I'm
Nobody up here knows what they're about to do.
It's
TJ.
always me versus our guests, so we'll see. I've been practicing.
TJ, your buzzer sounds like? Jadzia, your buzzer sounds like?
Oh, nice.
Ben? Jaffe. All right.
You got the boing boing.
I got the boing boing.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Right? I wanted the boing boing.
We all wanted the boing boing.
All right. So the game is I'm going to throw out a scenario. You can come up with as many answers as you want, but you can only answer one time per buzz. So you have to buzz in again and give a second answer.
Gotcha.
Got it?
So many boinks are going to happen.
So many points are going to happen. So this is maybe a quantity over thinking long on things, okay? We're going to answer fast.
Gotcha.
Got it? Doesn't have to be good, just has to be fast.
It's like Family Feud.
All right. Pickup lines in Gotham.
What?
Pickup lines in Gotham.
You are so cool, you should be in the Iceberg Lounge.
Hey, you ever been murdered by a clown?
Are you Cassandra Cain, or did I just leave you speechless?
Maybe are you Bane because you broke me?
All right.
Are you Nightwing? Because that ass, though.
Any more? All right.
I
Okay.
think we're good.
I did too. I'm just saying.
We're gonna do a cheer. If you thought TJs were the best, cheer now. Good. I taught
Thank
them
you.
well. I taught them well. If you thought Jadzia's were the best, cheer now. All right. If you thought Ben's was the best, cheer now. Oh, Jaffe. Ben wins. All right, round 2.
All right, this is rigged.
You can't go wrong with Bane.
Reality TV shows that would take place in Gotham.
How many of your parents got murdered?
The real house plants of Poison Ivy.
Yes!
8 Robins and counting.
No, I'm sorry. The Real Housewives of Poison Ivy killed me. It killed me.
You can say the Real
It's gone.
of Poison Ivy wins.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't think of anything.
Running with my Family Feud joke. Bat Family Feud.
Oh God. All right. Who thinks TJ won? Shut up, everybody. Who thinks Jadzia won?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
All right,
who thinks Ben won? We know who won. It's TJ. All right. Final round of this game. Self-help books people in Gotham need.
How to freeze your problem and your love.
It's real.
Be the you need, not the you deserve.
How to paint a smile on that face.
One face, two face, clay face, your face.
I'm speechless.
He didn't win because he didn't even try.
The Arkham Guide to Mental Health.
Yeah. Who thinks Jadzia won? Who thinks Ben won? Who thinks Jaffe won? Sounds like a tie to me as long as TJ lost.
In my defense, Jadzia stole my answer.
What?
I was trying to come up with a Joker one.
A
and yours
likely
was way
story.
better than mine was gonna be. So I just didn't even attempt.
That's not stealing. That's just.
Yeah.
That's just being faster and better. Alright, so we are now going to play a collective game. Everyone can join in, so I want to hear you shouting it out. We're going to play Smash or Pass together. Are you ready? Yeah! Smash or Pass, Nightwing!
Smash!
Smash or Pass, Bruce Wayne!
Pass.
One person said Smash. Smash or Pass, Jason Todd!
Pass.
Alright.
Shut up, Jadzia.
I'm gay. I'm gonna pass all the dudes.
Okay.
Smash or Pass, Joker! Smash! Concerning!
Which Joker are we talking about here?
Which one? Is it Heath Ledger? Because then you're okay.
Yes.
What about-
If it's Cameron Monaghan, I say
Yeah.
Basically, it's all of them.
If it's Jared Leto, get
Yeah,
out.
definitely pass on that.
We'll pass on that one.
Thank you. Everyone agree? Jared Leto.
Pass.
Good job.
Cameron Monaghan.
Woo!
Smash. Yeah.
Harley Quinn.
Smash.
That's right. This is a good audience. Well, that was it for our game. Are you ready for the panel? Yay! TJ, get us started.
All right. So, our mission statement here at Gotham Outsiders is that Batman is inherently gay.
Woo!
And we have a quote from Grant Morrison, no matter how we feel about their writing.
Don't like it.
Some people love it.
Not us, though.
Not for us. I do appreciate their take on Batman, though, which I'm going to read you right now. Batman is very, very gay. There's just no denying it. Obviously, as a fictional character, he's intended to be heterosexual, but the basis of the whole concept is utterly gay.
Gay.
I think that's why people like it. All these women fancy him, and they all wear fetish clothes and jump around rooftops to get to him. He doesn't care. He's more interested in hanging out with the old guy and the kid. And you'll
Now
see
do it in a Scottish accent.
yeah. You'll see on the PowerPoint as we go, there's some episodes we list in the corner where we talk about these themes on the slide. Feel free to check them out. But yeah, Grant Morrison, this is our mission statement.
It's gay. It's very, very gay.
It's gay. It's just gay.
Yeah. So
Batman, the world Batman, real queer.
This is our invention, though.
Yes.
It is, and that's how you know it's gay.
So we're gonna start out more in the historical part of the queerness of Batman, looking back from the creation to maybe around like the 60s. So if you want to go to the next
Yes.
slide. Exhibit A, bat nipples. That's just a joke to get us started. Goception.
Oh wait, go back. No.
Go back.
A moment,
Okay.
if we
We're gonna come
please,
back to it
because
if it helps.
no. I think within the historical context, the bat nipples are important
They are important.
because of what they are evoking, which is simultaneously a nude masculine chest. We can all see that, but also they are evoking ancient Roman chest armor, which also had pecs with nipples attached.
And they were gay.
Thank you. I'm getting to that. We were talking about this earlier, and he kept jumping the gun and be like, and it's gay, and it's like, yes, of course it is. I'm getting to it.
All right, we are gonna come back to the bat nipples. I promise.
We better. I'm gonna be so mad if we don't get back to the bat nipples.
Yes.
It seems like you can fit clamps.
So we're looking through a historical context here. We're gonna start with the Batman and Robin subtext, which no one up here, I don't think anyone up here can say we shipped Batman and Robin. That's not our thing. If that's your thing, you do you. But you cannot argue that throughout the decades there's been context that people, subtext that people are reading into. So we're going to talk about that, and if anyone has other historical things they'd like to bring up.
Ooh.
Do you? Okay, Jadzia, you go first.
So one thing I wanted to talk about is, real quick, talk about Eugene Sandow and the birth of physical culture, which was something that started in the late 18th century and moved on to the 19th century. And I find this fascinating in general because that, at the root of that is where a lot of our modern ideas, from everything such as school segregation to BMI, comes from. But we won't talk about that. We're going to talk about superheroes. Because the superhero costume comes from the circus strongman costume. The circus strongman became popular because of Eugene Sandow and physical culture and this idea of perfecting the human body and achieving a musculature that didn't come from working, but came from working out. And so that idea of the masculine form that is muscular and powerful, but also from a distinctly male gaze. So it's a male eroticized, or at the very least male aestheticized something, then later folds into the creation of the superhero, as Superman is based on a circus strongman costume. So before we even get to the homosocialness of Batman and Robin, we are already dealing with gay iconography. Thank you.
So you're saying it's been gay from the comic.
Right. It's not that Batman is gay, it's that superheroes themselves are gay.
All of them.
Yes.
It's pretty much just that astronaut meme where it's like superheroes are gay, always have been. So, historical queerness in Batman. Am I jumping the gun if I bring up the original Batwoman?
No.
Go ahead.
So you gotta love that. DC being like, oh, people think Batman and Robin are gay. Let's introduce some love interest. That'll make people think they're straight. But instead of in execution, instead of Batman just being subtextually vibes gay, you now have him actively turning down the interest of women. Great call. You nailed it, DC.
Then they just made him his cousin, so that get rid of this problem altogether.
The Sailor Moon gambit.
It is so strange because you have these characters who are not supposed to want sex, right? Because they are figures that are for children's literature. And so to put them in situations where they would be sexually enticed, they say no, I have a higher calling. And this then reads as gay.
Higher calling is gay.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, not even Batman, this article is written about the MCU, but the article I think about at least once a week is about superhero movies and TV. Everyone is hot and nobody is horny.
Has anyone read The Caped Crusade by Glenn Weldon?
Yes.
Our gay king,
All right.
you gotta read it.
Yes, we have at least one. Such a good book. There's a whole section that really talks about the subtext between Batman and Robin back in the day. I included some of the panels on this slide that Glenn brings up in that chapter. And you'll see them just laying in bed, the homoeroticism of it that you could read into just visually. But then Glenn also talks about how Robin was really a self-insert character for all the young boys reading comics at the time. So all these queer boys were imagining themselves running around Batman in these outfits. And it's just putting yourself in those shoes. I feel like it was just such a queer awakening for so many young queer men at that time. So I think that's really important too. And if you have not read The Caped Crusade by Glenn Weldon, it is amazing. He reads the audiobook. Please check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get the Schumacher bill.
Back to the bat nipples. All right, let's go.
Oh, we just skipped over the 60s show.
Yeah, 60s.
We can't talk about Schumacher without talking about the 60s
Okay,
show. That's a
fair,
problem.
fair.
That's
That's
the
a
thing.
good
We have to talk about the conscious camp of the 60s show.
Do it.
Good segue.
Also, Cesar Romero being so gay he
So
refused to shave his mustache.
Right.
Oh, was that it?
Was that
Well, no, I was giving an opening. But it's your slide.
I mean, there's
It's camp. It's just conscious camp, and there's a very what makes it work is that Batman and Robin at the center of it are not giving camp performances. Like Burt Ward and Adam West are not doing a camp performance. They are being, for lack of a better term, straight men in the show, while everyone else is being camp around them, and it's a very bright, colorful. It's very drag without actually having any drag queens. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dressing up, hiding.
But also, you're Eartha Kitt as Catwoman. Talk
Eartha-
about an awakening there.
Oh, sure. All the Catwomen.
Julie Newmar. Oh.
All I'm saying is any billionaire living in his mansion with his word twink has something going on there.
Can I say also, I love that the cover for Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, why they're never around, is that they are rugged outdoorsmen. They are always going out camping or hiking or fishing. Like, if that's why they're never around, is because they are camping.
It's Brokeback Mountain.
Also, this isn't related to queer issues, but since we're talking about the 60s show, I just always like bringing up the story of when Adam West and Penguin's actor got kicked out of an orgy because they refused to break character.
No,
That was Frank Gorshin.
it was
But
Frank
yes.
Gorshin, which is even better.
Did he just keep going, wah, wah, wah?
No, he kept going, riddle me this.
Oh. All right, bat nipples, please. So,
Who
I think-
loves the Schumacher films?
Yeah, who loves
Yeah.
They're
mean-
fun.
I think if there's any context in which it does make sense to actually ship Batman and Robin together, it is legitimately the Schumacher movies, where Dick Grayson is introduced already being like early 20s.
Right, when you adopt a 20-year-old.
Right. I would say that these movies are the precursor to the modern dynamic between Sam and Bucky, where we age up the kid's sidekick to the point where you can't help but ship it.
This is off topic slightly, but Chris once said that the Robin in the Schumacher movies should have been Jason Todd, and I was like, oh my god, mind
Should
blown.
have been, because he was a
Accurate.
rebel. When was Dick
Yeah.
Grayson a rebel? Never.
Excuse me, but Jason Todd was not that guy as Robin. Jason Todd was a good kid, and he only became corrupted after he was killed and came back.
He's
Yeah,
so tired.
Because he was living on his own and he needed the money to survive. But
Jackie,
you
rebels are good things. What is your problem?
I'm sorry, are you asking Joel Schumacher to not put Chris O'Donnell in a leotard for circus scenes?
Thank
Joel
you.
Schumacher would never make that decision.
Yeah, that is 100% correct here. It's got to be the circus boy.
It's hard to talk about the Schumacher movies and why they're gay because they're just gay. Like, just watch it.
I mean, it's pretty obvious,
what do
right?
you-
Like, no one's going to argue with us here. Does
Right,
anyone
like,
need an explanation
How do
about
we
why they're gay?
how do we analyze the gayness of these movies without just going, well, look at them?
Start the film right now.
Scene by scene. No, I mean, just nobody needs to look further than the Riddler in these movies, right? Like Jim Carrey's campus performance in this movie.
He was giving Gaga, and I love it.
He literally has outfit changes with like sequins at the end. Like, come on.
And, like,
Also, another great example of this weird soup trope that only exists in superhero movies and not comics, of the villain starting out as frumpy and nerdy because they wear glasses, but then they go through villainous transformation and lose glasses.
So Riddler is the Catwoman of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
can we talk about Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy?
Please.
Forever.
She knew the assignment. I did notice making this slide. Poison Ivy and Riddler have the same like color aesthetic going on.
Schumacher really said red and green are gay colors.
He did. And then of course we had Chase Meridian and her leather fetish with Batman. Nicole Kidman. Does anyone go to AMC theaters?
Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Yeah. I think of the Batman
TJ, it's not the
fetish.
leather, it's the car. Chicks dig the car.
Thank you.
Please, Chase Meridian was in it for the trauma. Let's be honest.
And
She
this-
left
You
it.
can be in it for both the trauma and the rubber.
I mean,
She left him first chance she had to go be with Aquaman's dad.
The scene to me that I'm like, that was freaking gay, was on the slide you'll see Robin does like the laundry scene. Does anyone else remember that?
I do remember
I
that.
thought they were awakening to that laundry scene.
Oh, gymnastics, laundry, kung fu? Yeah.
So hot. And Alfred is literally me in that moment, just watching him. Like, oh my god. And something in me awoken when I was like a 5-year-old kid watching Batman and Robin, when he takes off the plastic lips and he says, what does he say? He says like rubber lips.
Rubber lips.
Rubber lips. And I just, ugh. They're looking glossy from the plastic. It got me. It made me gay. Thank you, Chris O'Connor.
Yes, comics did in fact make us gay, just to be clear.
Also, just the inherent cadence of Batman being like, I need a device that'll make sure women can't kiss me.
Just in case.
Just in case.
One never knows.
He's prepared for everything.
Every scenario. Alright, Batwoman!
Batwoman.
Gotta talk about Batwoman. R.I.P. the Batwoman TV show, 2019 to 2022.
Yeah.
The answer to which member of the Bat family is most likely to listen to Girl in Red.
Yes!
I love Batwoman for two reasons. One is that she's gay. That's the biggest reason. And no bones about it. Yeah, but she gets to actually say she's gay like everybody else. And the other one is that she's just an awful girlfriend. And that is not because she's a superhero. She was a bad girlfriend before. And like every now and then some writer comes in, tries to make her a good girlfriend, and it hurts. It hurts me personally. I feel like we need shitty girlfriend representation in comics, and there's just not enough of it.
I do want to ask the panel, who do we ship Batwoman with? Maggie Sawyer, Renee Montoya, or other?
Therapy.
We read Batwoman Elegy, and her and Renee broke up. I was so sad. I wanted them to work
I
out.
wasn't. Renee deserved better.
Oh, they're both so bad. No.
They are
They're
bad.
They need to
terrible
work
for
on
each other.
themselves first, but I would love for them to get back together just so they could tear each other apart again.
Because if you can't love yourself, no one can love
How are you
Really?
gonna
What?
love somebody else?
Just Jadzia.
I do love how even in the Batwoman TV show, we now have to update the origin, because they're like, don't ask, don't tell isn't going to work too much longer as an origin.
Yay for that.
We got to find new reasons for her to get kicked out of stuff for being gay.
I'm looking forward to the retcon where she's a trans woman.
Yes. Please do it.
Are you saying you would write that?
Of course, what are you talking about? I will trans any Bat character. I would love to trans Riddler. Oh my god. I'd be all over that. Either way. Like, are we doing a trans mask Riddler or are we doing a trans femme Riddler? I don't care. I'll do either one.
Alright, Sirens!
We were gonna talk Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, and I was like, you know what? We gotta throw Catwoman in there. You can't not talk about Catwoman.
I just love that every woman that fights Batman turns gay eventually. Just saying.
Well, they even established a few years of the Talia's bi, too.
Yeah.
It's not that they turn gay eventually, it's they're already gay, and then there's
He
no
makes
Batman.
them realize.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, that's where the Pride Parade is. Over there by the guy dressed as a bat.
Well,
My favorite ever TikTok was somebody pointed out that Pride Parades in Gotham are so safe because all the villains are gay.
Well, I think again, like there's the queerness, and like even with like when Catwoman's with Batman, there's something inherently queer about like we are going to dress up in leather and run around on the rooftops, and that's like our way of being together. Like,
Let's put on our sexy furry outfits.
is it that Batman?
I'm
is,
gonna
like,
meow at you, and you're gonna wave your cape around. It's gonna be really hot, right?
Is Batman making people queer, or is there just like certain traits found in people who like to dress up in very flamboyant costumes and then do elaborate crimes to attract people in other flamboyant costumes?
I mean, that's the beauty of the Bat community, right? Because most of these people don't have superpowers, so they're just doing it for kicks.
Ben, are you saying that this is a mating dance?
I'm saying that the women in Gotham have a choice between Batman and other women, and they made their choice.
to put a little bit of serious hat on, like it's one big reason why I think love interests like Catwoman and Talia work, and love interests like Vicky Vale and Chase Meridian and Silver St. Cloud don't, is Vicky and Silver are Bruce Wayne's love interest, and Bruce Wayne's not a real person. Well, Talia and Catwoman are Batman's love interest, and Batman is a real person. Or, as a fictional person, but you know what I mean.
No, it's real.
He's real to me, damn it.
Well, there's something to be said for characters who are supervillains as opposed to just girlfriends, in that they have a sort of
Personality.
thank you. I was going to say inner life, but that didn't work. But personality, and like a lot of the girlfriends are there to be girlfriends, and they don't have lives off panel, whereas Harley Quinn clearly has a life off panel doing all sorts of bullshit.
I mean, can anyone name a Vicky Vale personality trait?
She's a news reporter.
She has a job.
I played the Telltale games.
She's nosy as hell.
She has a what?
In somebody's business.
She does what?
She's nosy as hell.
She's
Yeah, she's
nosy.
nosy
We
as
have
hell.
one personality trait. Good.
She's a Lois
As long
Lane
as she's
wannabe.
one-dimensional, we're okay.
Silver St. Cloud brushed her hair
She's
a
an
lot.
Iris West wannabe. Even
Is
worse.
hair care a personality? Because she had it.
Yes. Chase Meridian loves trauma. That's a whole personality.
Are you guys big fans of Harley and Ivy? Okay, yes. Anyone watch the Harley Quinn TV show?
Yeah.
So good. Oh my god, it's giving me everything I want.
Have you seen the new episodes?
Yeah, the new episodes are so good.
Harvey Gillen as Nightwing. Come on, that's some great voice acting casting.
So good.
Harley and Ivy are my murder mommies. Jaffe once told us something that has stayed with me for a year and a half now, which is not that long of a
It
time.
could sound like
But
for
it
my whole
feels
life.
like it. We're a pandemic later. If every female Batman villain can be bisexual, why can't every Robin? And I was like, you know what? You're right. They're all. Anyway, just had to bring that up.
Speaking
And that was our
of,
transition
that was a
into-
great segue.
Thank you.
It's
almost
like you made the
Right?
slide.
Very
It's like I
subtle.
made them myself. Huh?
Who loves Tim Drake so much? That's right.
Who loves all the hand-holding action we've been getting? No kiss yet.
One day he'll work up a kiss.
Marriage.
It's feeling like he's gonna wait until marriage.
Who reactivated their Tim Kahn AO3 fanfic account?
I feel personally attacked.
Whoever didn't have it up, what are you talking about?
Chris was a huge Tim Drake fan going into our podcast, so I was like, all right, I gotta get into Tim Drake.
You had no choice.
Yeah, like the whole time throughout our show, I'm like, who is my favorite Robin? I gotta pick one. And every book we would read, I'd be like, oh, it's Damian now. Oh, it's Tim. And then Tim Drake came out, and I was like, all right, it's Tim. It's been decided. Until the other ones come out, it's Tim.
Exactly. I mean, Tim, I think, was the favorite of a lot of queer people, as you all illustrated, because we all read him that way, and then he was. Like, that's the best example of not actually queer baiting I've ever seen.
I think the one argument for Damien being straight is that between Connor and John Kent, it's funny seeing him be the exasperated straight dealing with all his disaster queer friends.
Yeah, the only argument I'll accept for Damien being straight is that he hates Tim so much, he has to be homophobic.
Exasperated ace.
That's
Yes.
we're gonna
I feel
get there.
exasperated Ace.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
takes after
We're
his
gonna
father.
get there. We have it on here, don't worry.
I think Damien will be on the A spectrum. I think Jason Todd's gonna be like bi or pan. I think Nightwing is gonna be bi.
Woo!
We'll try it.
Flipping.
You have these
Where is
wonderful
it? Where is
fantasies.
it?
I just
Where is it?
love.
Why did you skip?
Jason Todd is attracted to anyone of any gender who can beat him up.
Yeah.
I will say regarding Bernard Dowd that you can level a lot of the accusations we made about Vicky Vale towards him. That he is essentially the Vicky Vale of Robins at this point.
Do we like Bernard?
Oh, silence! Silence!
Name a thing about Bernard other than he's blonde, I guess?
Who knows who Bernard is?
Yeah.
Okay. But just no one likes
I've
him.
heard of him.
I'm waiting for Tim to head to Earth 63 so he can meet Stephen Brown.
Yeah.
What's up?
I liked him, but I saw him in 2 chapters of Wayne Family Adventure.
Right?
It's true and right.
What is his personality outside of liking Tim Drake?
He's
I don't
blonde.
know. He's blonde.
He's blonde. That's his personality.
He's got a sucker for lost causes.
I can tell you he's not Connor Kent.
Yeah. The best thing I can say about Bernard is he's an excellent starter boyfriend.
Yes.
Are you got anyone like Tim Kahn?
Yeah.
All right, yes. That's where I'm at. Me and Alex are just waiting for it. We're like, within the next 5 years, it's gotta happen. Or what is the point?
We will land a man on Tim Kahn by the end of this decade. We do it not because it's easy, but because it's hard.
Don't hold your breath, you guys.
In 5 years, we're gonna see who's right. Jadzia says no, it won't happen. We're gonna see.
I've been right about Tim so far. He has not kissed anyone.
That's true.
It's like you think you write for DC Comics or something, and you need to stop.
All right, so here's my long-held headcanon. Batman is asexual. He loves only justice. Thank you. The evidence for which is every time that he's dancing with a girl and crime comes up, he lets her fall on her face. He also has this amazing line in one of Morrison's runs where he's talking to Alfred and he's like, "Those women thought I loved them. Aren't I a great actor?" I was like, me too. I get it.
That's why Catwoman's so good. If Batman's only interested in crime, then she will become crime. That's it. Like Machine Gun Kelly was saying, "I am weed. She is crime."
She is Machine Gun Kelly.
So Chris has the asexual aspect of Batman Bruce Wayne covered. Me, I'm reading the current Batman the Night series. Is anyone else?
Yeah.
You should be. Thank you, one guy in the back.
It's good.
I'm with you. So queer with him and the guy who's Ghostmaker. If you don't
Okay,
know-
no, what? No. No, I need to talk about this.
No, you need to
No,
wait.
the chemistry is real in Batman the Night between him and
Look at
Ghostmaker.
these slides. They literally almost kissed, and someone just said his heart was broken by him.
Yeah.
And Ghostmaker is obviously bisexual explicitly, and he's so in love with Bruce Wayne. Just saying.
chasing after him, of course.
Exactly.
It
Get
is
it.
weird.
Cat and mouse the whole time.
All right, Jadzia, why are we wrong?
It's not that you're wrong. It's that I have a problem.
Okay.
All right? You can
No,
be
you
right.
have a problem, Jadzia.
Thank you. Okay, because here's the thing. I need props for this.
Oh no, she's getting a prop.
I don't know how many people are in this audience know this, but I wrote a book called Galaxy the Prettiest Star.
We heard it. Galaxy the Prettiest Star is amazing.
Thank you.
Will you be selling copies at our signing after this?
I have a small number available if people want to purchase
So
it, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
We're talking about is that my book, which features, among other things, girls kissing and having sex.
Woo!
It's in there in the book.
It's sex.
Yeah,
All right.
You read it.
I would hope, right?
Yes.
I had to field so many questions, but so are these characters gay? Are they gay? Are these characters gay?
Does fucking someone make you gay?
Are they gay? But really now, they don't say they're gay, so are they gay? So many. And then that panel where people don't even touch. Don't even touch has the entire internet going, "Oh, Batman's gay. Batman's gay. This proves it. This proves it. Batman's gay." And I'm like, what do I have to do to get people to, what's that?
Queer ladies are invisible. That's our superpower.
I guess so. But it was mind-boggling because this came out like not long after Galaxy did, and I was like, why is that gay? But girls literally having sex not.
Oh my god, it's like the patriarchy exists.
In my defense,
I've seen
Ghostmaker
people-
is confirmed bisexual, and we have seen him sleeping with men and women at the same time.
I mean,
Right, but we're talking about Batman.
In more defense of like queer women are invisible, I've seen people arguing over Wonder Woman is still queer after Greg Rucka wrote a whole panel just naming the ladies on Themyscira that she slept with.
Yes, one whole panel in the last 10 years of comics.
That's not fair. She was in a Pride thing a while ago. Do you remember that? She just stood there.
You're right, exactly. But that's about as involved as Dick Grayson gets on variant covers.
That's true.
We know that technically Wonder Woman is queer. It comes up once every 10 years or so, but it's almost like they want to keep it a secret.
It comes up as often as they remember that Catwoman's not white.
I feel like we need to circle back around to Tim Drake. We can never talk about Tim Drake too much. On our show, we've been talking a lot about all that hand-holding. Why haven't they kissed yet? Why hasn't he said anything?
Speaking of never kissing.
We understand that it's supposed to be a slow burn.
Alright, hold on. Who writes fan fiction? Be honest. Okay. Do you agree with me this is not a slow burn? We've all written slow burns, right? That's not how you do it. That's what I've been saying. Thank you.
I think what we need now is a comic that's just 20
It's ended
pages.
with no finish. That's kind of
We need a comic that's just 20 pages of Jackson Hyde and John Kent making out with their respective boyfriends while Tim just holds hands just to establish that it's just a Tim thing.
All I'm saying
That was
is
the
we
Pride
should-
special.
Yeah, it was.
We were in the Pride special, they're gonna kiss. They're gonna kiss. That panel on the top left on the slide. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna kiss. They did not kiss.
Did not kiss.
We're still
They
waiting.
frolic shirtless through the waves and they do not kiss.
So, anyway.
Just a waste of a good frolic.
I am here for queer Tim Drake. I'm here for bisexual Tim Drake. We all are.
Yes.
We just really want it to be put into
Actually
existence.
happen.
Yeah, we want it on page. We don't want this am I not.
How do we feel about the fact that every time he's in a comic since then, though, Batman has to introduce him as his gay son?
Without saying.
I know, but okay, yes, but then there's being weird about it.
Here's my
I
son,
did
Tim.
love the
He's
recent.
gay, though. Have you noticed?
He's really figured himself out lately.
He's
It's
exactly right.
what is he queer? We still haven't been told.
Yeah, we still haven't heard the words boyfriend or bi.
No.
Like,
They're dating.
no, I do love that we're now in the era where almost every time he appears in someone else's book, there has to be a caption box being he's finding what makes him happy.
That's what it was.
Tim Drake, the gay Robin.
Yes.
I think Batman should introduce all his kids like that. It's this is my gay son, this is my circus son, this is my angry son, this is my smaller angry son.
Batman's going to retire his costume with a placard that says, "A gay soldier."
Are you saying they're all gay? I think they're all
Sure, I
gay.
mean, yeah.
That's my
We've
transition.
established that. It's Gotham, they're all gay.
Oh, we're
So-
not done.
Are we back
We can't move off of asexual Batman or queer Batman without talking about the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
Are you sure?
Batman
Are you sure we can't move on?
asexual.
So I think in addition to the Ace themes, I kind of think by now they've pushed the Bruce Wayne is just a mask, Batman is who he is so hard that maybe I'm wrong, but at this point I kind of pick up on trans themes. At what point is it a secret identity, and at what point is Bruce Wayne his dead name?
Yes.
And honestly, they always present it as oh, Batman, it's a burden. It's keeping you from this life of what fucking life? Bruce Wayne has nobody. Batman is the one with romantic partners, children, a father figure, a literal league of friends. Batman is the most emotionally healthy this guy is gonna get.
That's sad.
It's terrifying how correct you are.
I'm just saying, I saw that kiss between Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson.
Mm.
There was no reason why it should not have been super hot, and it was so weird.
There was.
He just wasn't into it. He didn't know what to do with all that Catwoman, and it was asexual panic. That was my read.
Accurate. Okay, Joker time. So we wanted to talk about the gayest Joker appearances, which is why the Lego Batman is up here. His
Excellent.
entire plot in that movie is Batman. Notice me, please. Notice me, senpai. But in case, has anyone played the Telltale Batman games?
Woo!
Canonically bisexual Joker. He actually is. bisexual than those.
I want way more of Lego Joker and Harley Quinn because I love this dynamic. It's just like Joker is Harley's gay best friend.
Yes. Yeah, so if you play the Telltale Batman game where it's like your choose your own adventure, you can choose the options that make Joker fall in love with you, Batman.
It is so good.
And then you can break his heart.
So
He
good.
literally admits to being in love like, at least 4 times minimum.
It's so good.
Joker in the Telltale games, he has his jeans rolled up, showing his
And
ankle.
it's Kahn. It's Kahn.
Yeah, his
With the
sleeves
vest?
too.
Oh my god.
So he's confirmed bisexual.
Isn't it weird that whenever the Joker is the most queer-coded, that is the least gay that he is?
Yes.
Like in Dark Knight
It's
Returns and
Absolutely.
in Arkham Asylum, like heavy queer coding on
Right.
both those Jokers, and they're so not gay.
And when they
There-
don't try, so gay.
Yes!
There are really two ways to queer code. There's the homophobic way of queer coding, and there's the trying to get away with something but you can't say it out loud queer coding. And most of like the history of villains in fiction falls a lot more into the former camp than the latter. And I feel like there's a lot of nuance that needs to be separated out here, like especially when it comes to Batman and the Joker. Who is writing this and what are they trying to say? And not all queer representation, especially when it doesn't come from a queer voice or a place of good faith, is necessarily any good.
Exactly, but you're forgetting the third option, which is this writer clearly needs to work out some things.
I always thought Grant Morrison knew exactly what they were doing in Batman R.I.P. when they made Joker into a David Bowie lookalike wearing nothing but an apron and knives.
That was the sexiest Joker. Oh wait, that's a lie. Has anyone read Harleen?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay, Joker's hot in that. I'm sorry.
No, that's valid.
That's
It's
very
supposed to be
valid.
out in that.
I feel validated.
It's Jepan Sejic. He can't help but make Joker hot.
Literally the only reason I bought all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
he's
you
hot.
go.
It's also very good. Harleen, check it out.
And lastly, we already showed you this. We're gonna do it again. Everyone is gay.
Literally every other Bat family member, we have to talk about them. As Alex has said once before, feast! They're all queer. Do we have any strong opinions on any of these up here?
Aliza Yo's the best.
I think
I mean-
Alfred is more aromantic than gay.
Oh, I
can see it.
I am not the biggest fan. I'm a fan because of him.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't seen any love interest relationship whatsoever with Alfred, except for him being in love with taking care of. Mr.
That's
Franklin.
fair.
Excuse me, what about all the times they force Leslie Tompkins on him with zero chemistry?
Let's not forget Gotham High, where he is the gay uncle swirling a martini in every panel.
I can't recommend that you read Gotham High.
No, but it's
No.
funny.
You will never convince me that Alfred did not bang his way through the entirety of 1970s London.
Oh yeah, he was in the theater.
He was a
He was a theater actor in 1970s England. Of course he banged them all.
I want to say that the all-time champion of unintentional queer themes is, of course, Chuck Dixon. It's why we all believed Tim Drake was gay. It's why the best ship is Babs and Dinah for both of those characters. And it's something that he swears up and down was not intended, but like, were we reading the same comic book?
So he was who I meant when I said some people need to figure things out.
We have to talk about Harper Row.
Harper Row.
Does anyone here like Harper Row?
She's alright.
Jaffe, get
I'm
off
like,
this
we
panel.
might as well talk about Harper Row. DC's not.
No, we're gonna talk about Harper Row. We don't. She has her bisexual queen and her gay brother, and they're amazing. And those are canon. We're not making that up this time.
Harper Row has this amazing arc, which so many queer characters do, where they show up, they make a big. Everybody looks at them. They're put in the forefront. They usually get to wear a nice hat, and then they're like, "Oh, and never mind, we forget about them." And this seems to happen so often.
Which is a shame because like Bluebird, she was picked up on the bird naming. I mean, she's got to make it look a little different from Nightwing, but other than that, just a few costume revisions from something classic, I think.
I honestly like Taser Girl. I feel like that was an underrated superhero name.
Jadzia, I did put Aliza up there just for you.
And I appreciate
She
that.
was not up there until the last minute, and I was like, you know what? I gotta put her on there.
I'm.
The
You
Bat
didn't have to
Girl.
tell me you didn't know to the last minute.
Well,
No, I was just thinking of Bat family members, and I was like, you know what? She
Oh, that
counts.
hurts. That
She counts.
hurts. She does count.
Yeah, I will say Alicia wasn't really a good character until this year.
Jadzia wrote the Alicia story in the DC Pride 2022 special.
And you should read it because it's amazing.
Very good.
She's also bisexual. You don't have that flag up there, but it's true in addition to being trans. And since she's a bisexual married to a lesbian, I'm a lesbian married to a bisexual, I feel like that representation is important.
In case you didn't know, JLQ, that's Justice League Queer.
That's us.
Disassemble.
So I'm gonna bring the mic up if people have questions until we have to wrap up, and then afterward we're gonna be doing a signing. Looks like we have 5 minutes for questions. We're gonna be doing a signing. You can come get Jadzia's books. You can come get Kahn's books. You can get trivia questions with Jaffe, and you get posters from us.
Yeah, I have 30 free prints of our podcast that we will all sign for you.
Yeah.
So if you're first in line, you will get one. And we have some pins. We have a lot more pins. So please come talk to us. You can ask us questions at the table too. But yeah, if anyone has a question they want to ask, anything, or if you just want to shout it out if you don't want to get up. But Chris has the mic. Does anyone want to raise their hand on the
Yeah.
spot? Yeah,
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on the queer representation in Young Justice?
We're repping Young Justice.
I will say that it's a little embarrassing that after Halo came out as non-binary, they keep on using she/her pronouns for the character. And like Greg Weisman kind of came out and admitted right after that, yeah, I fucked up there, and it feels careless to me.
So when you ask that question, I think about Aquaman, Calderon. Like, I like that he has a boyfriend, but I just feel like they really haven't. I think there's a time and a place for a character where it's not a big deal, but I also think we should be exploring that aspect of the character, and it hasn't really been. My other major thing is that Bart, Impulse, and Blue Beetle should have been a thing. Blue Pulse should have been a thing. And then they gave him like this knockoff boyfriend. What's his name? Eduardo. Is that his name?
He's
Yeah.
cute.
So now Bart has
Don't
this.
even confirm that.
Yeah, they will not confirm that Bart is dating Eduardo because apparently DC said no. And I'm just give it to me. They're obviously dating.
And let's not forget that Tim doesn't have lines in that show.
Yeah, he does not. As a non-binary person, I will say the non-binary rep became pretty good eventually.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's fair.
You have a question?
Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me under this thing.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
This actually kind of brings to mind the question, even when characters are confirmed as queer, it seems like it's never the ships that everyone wants. Why do you think that is?
I feel called out with Tim Kahn right now.
Why do we think that is, panel?
I will say that I think it's because many times these ships are across lines of like families that say like say Tim Kahn for instance. Once you ship those two together, you're creating this bond between the Bat books and the Super books that can't really be separated. They can't exist on their own. It's the reason Superman Wonder Woman was such a disastrous idea.
It's not the reason.
It's one of. But it makes things more complicated from a publishing perspective, I think.
Yeah.
I also think with Tim Kahn, I think people are afraid to touch that because it's so popular. So someone's gonna try it and be like, not live up to expectations. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I think it's also like fandom is not a monolith. There's a lot of people who like Tim Kahn. There's also other people who don't. And like, while it's frustrating to not see the ships that we want in publication, it does not mean that there aren't other people who do want to see those ships that happen. So you're never going to get everything you want unless you write it.
Somewhere out there is that Bernard superfan who's been waiting since the Chuck Dixon run, and they are fucking eating right now.
They are so pumped.
All right, we are getting the get off the stage side. So we are all done, but don't forget to come to our signing and talk to us.
And I'm moderating the DC panel. I'm assuming you all are DC fans.
Yeah.
So by all means, come to that. There's so many great people.
Sorry.
Yes, you can catch me all weekend at table E46.
And if you have a question that you didn't get to ask, come to our table right after this. We'll be at Pub 1 in the exhibit hall. You can ask us and we can chit chat, give you some free stuff. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.
Check out the Gotham Outsiders podcast, wherever fine podcasts can be found.
Rate us 5 stars, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, or just exit the room and make your way. Thank you all again.